I don't know you, I don't know your situation, but hopefully this video will help you determine whether or not a 5th generation Honda Accord is right for you. I think what's important to know is that I'm not a mechanic. I'm not somebody that grew up working on cars, but I have driven this car for 10 years. It's been my only vehicle, and I know a lot about what it takes to keep this car on the road. I'm just gonna pull it right here. Walk it. This is where we make our photos. I think it's as good as any. A little automatic. I would probably go for the manual if you can find one, although that would probably mean a clutch repair. The important thing about buying a 5th generation isn't gonna be any of the cosmetic stuff, so you really don't wanna spend too much time looking at all that. What you really wanna do is see how it drives, and also, more importantly, look under the hood and get somebody that knows what they're talking about to really look at it. And me not being a mechanic, I can kind of show you some things that I've had to deal with this vehicle. All right, I'm gonna get out and show you this beast. Okay, so here she is. Here's this beauty of a 1995 Honda Accord. You can tell the little dent right here. This was from a recent ice storm we had in the south. And yeah, there we are. You know, the paint is fading quite a bit. You can tell this thing was, yeah, I had this car in Arizona for a couple years, so that really did a number on the paint. But really, as I said, this isn't really what you're gonna be looking for when you're looking to buy one of these vehicles. What you really wanna look at is what's under here. I will say sometimes you gotta be careful with these older cars. On this one, you wanna make sure this is pushed in. You hear that? You definitely don't want this thing coming down on you. The battery cables are something to check out. I had those replaced. The distributors will often leak right here. And mine is actually missing this top piece. This is for that's connected to the rocker arm assembly. And then the power steering pump definitely can leak quite a bit. That looks like an original alternator. It probably is. I've never replaced it in the 10 years that I've had it. And then below that is the AC compressor, which mine is completely dead. So another point, you can obviously tell that there is an issue with that hose right there. And you can see how black that brake fluid is. It's another thing to look at. Oh yeah, this is helpful. So in here are some the spark plugs, obviously, but inside the you can pop these here. I'll just do it now. You can pop these off, just pop it out, and inside these wells sometimes there will be oil just pooling up in there. And it's not in mine because I had it fixed. There's a seal. But yeah, that's something you definitely want to do. There's a seal. Definitely snap it back in. But there's a seal on the underside of the rocker arm assembly. It's a little gasket, and it goes bad after 30 plus years. So when it goes bad, oil starts leaking into the bottom of the spark plug wells. So that makes it smell like burnt oil the whole time you're driving it, which is not good. It can probably start a fire. I probably should have fixed that sooner than I did, but it ended up working out for me and everything was fine. But there's a fix on Eric the Car Guy's YouTube channel, and I think another guy, Peanut Butter Man or something. I'll link to him below if you guys want to check that out. But yeah, there's a lot of really good tutorials about these vehicles, and I think that's one of the big selling points for me, is that they're such a mass-produced vehicle, and there's so many tutorials, and parts are dirt cheap, and they're fairly reliable. These engines are really good engines. That's the thing that makes me not want to sell it, is because there's nothing wrong with the engine or the transmission. The reason I'm selling it is it doesn't have air conditioning, and I don't think it's worth my time to be trying to fix all that, because I mean, I think it's just the compressor, but I might have to redo all these lines, the condenser down there, and you know, I don't have a vacuum, you know, and then all the issues that I might run into with the rusted ass bolts. Not that they're all rusted, I mean, you can get lucky, but I just know how it goes. If you do end up getting one of these, I would first switch it over to full synthetic high mileage oil, and then also do a coolant flush, oil change, brake fluid flush, and the transmission fluid, where is that thing at? There it is, way down there. So you can see it down there, that little ring. I didn't do a full flush on mine, I did a half flush about probably 10 or 15,000 miles ago, and I was kind of on the fence about it, but I was driving in the mountains a lot at the time, so it's kind of up to you. I've read conflicting things about whether or not to do a transmission fluid flush on an older vehicle. I don't think I would recommend that, but for me at the time, it felt like the transmission was slipping. I was driving it around in the mountains of North Carolina a lot, so that's the decision that I made at the time. That's something you should do more research on, but that's where it is if you want to check it. I would definitely check that if you're going to buy one, and if it's like black or there's metal shavings on the tip, definitely walk. The radiator, I did replace that. That wasn't too bad. Yeah, I just don't know why the hose keeps doing that. I think I probably just need to change out the thermostat. Oh, have I had this wire in front of it the whole time? Right, professional, man. Sorry about that. You know, it's been a while since I've made a YouTube video, so I'm getting a little rusty with this stuff. So let me just go over it real quick. Check and see, when was the timing belt last done. You want to check out the power steering pump. That can leak a lot. And then this seal in between the distributor and the engine, that seal can go bad. And then also the radiator, the hose is here. Make sure the air conditioning works. Maybe check out the compressor and see if it looks like it's a new one. I think if you get one that it looks like a brand new compressor, but all the rest of the components look old, you might want to avoid that one, because they probably just threw a compressor on, and I don't know, the longevity of that is probably not going to be very long. I don't know. Again, I'm not a mechanic. I'm not that confident in what I'm talking about here, but if I were to do all of this, the AC system, I would probably redo all of the components just because they're so old. I mean, throwing a new compressor and hooking it up to these old ass lines that may have already been exposed to air and time. Yeah, so just a word to the warning if it's got faulty air conditioning system. Another thing is it can kind of have an intermittent no start. For me, it was giving me trouble during the rain. So one was the main relay. You can look up how to replace a main relay in one of these, which is super simple. It's on the underside of the steering wheel. It's just a tiny little electrical component that you can buy for like 20 bucks. Some last things to note are that you want to check the rubber bushings behind the front wheels. This is my upper control arm bushing right here. It's definitely seen better days, and this is actually my new car, but just to demonstrate how I would recommend you check this, I think you should turn the wheel all the way to the right and all the way to the left, and when you do that, listen to see if you can hear the power steering pump making a loud whining noise. And then once you have the wheels cocked, I think it's also a good idea to look behind them and check out some of those rubber bushings on the inside of the wheels. So like the tie rods, the sway bar links, and you just want to make sure those are all in good shape, that they're actually there, and that there's no cracks, or they're not like rubber rotting. You know, it is a 30-plus-year-old car, so you definitely want to make sure that that is all in good shape. And if you don't know what any of those parts are, basically you can just look behind them and look where two different metal pieces join together. There's usually a rubber piece that connects them. It's a good vehicle, man. It's got some miles left. It's got some life left in it. But, you know, it's just time. It's time for me to move on from it. I can't do another summer here in the South with no air conditioning. I mean, it's already 9 o'clock and I'm starting to sweat a little bit in here. So I'm just taking it for my last drive here. Just down the block, down the neighborhoods. Man, it drives really good. I hate to let it go, man. I hate to let it working good car go like this. If I had the space and the time, let me roll this up, it might be easier to hear me. You know, if I had the space and I wasn't living at my parents' house, I would definitely have this as like a project car. And maybe I won't be able to sell it, so it'll sell better after the summer. But I really kind of need the money now that I spent all that money on a new used car. I bought a 2009 Honda Fit. A little bit better cargo capacity than this. We'll still be able to do some trips in it, and yeah, it's gonna be fine. It's definitely overpaid for it, but it's 2026. The old drive around the block. Man, such a good car. Nothing wrong with it. If you can deal with no AC, we've been through so much shit together, you know? It's been a great vehicle for me, and I'm looking forward to the next one, but I hope this does well in its next life, in its next owner. So this will be it. This is closing out the chapter for the 5th generation Honda Accord, the 95 Honda Accord for me.